Up next is Robert Teixeira, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Robert is a contract instructor at OCAD University in the Faculty of Arts and Science, where he teaches courses on the sociology of the body and sexuality, gender, and the family as sites of social challenge and change. Completing his dissertation in the Department of Sociology at York University, he's investigating the most recent history of the socio-legal governance of youth sexualities as a site of neoliberal regulation. There's some other stuff that he's been working on, including one of the founding collective members of the Anarchist Free University. His articles, reviews, and creative writing have appeared in Labour, Le Travail, Canadian Women's Studies, Canadian Journal of Sociology, Border/Lines, Broken Pencil, Extra, and in the collections Whore Carnival and Queers Were Here, Biblioasis 2016, and a variety of other periodicals and zines. So, Robert Teixeira.
Thank you to Martin Smith and Louise Bak for another, I'm sure, who I don't know, who have organized this event. Wonderful, thank you. It's much needed. So I'll read these two short little snappy things. So this first one is something I wrote down after recovering a memory of childhood eroticism. Now this is something that perhaps is given large play, but this is a kind of more joyous memory, but it also has a bit of a twist. And also, I changed the title. It was called Already at 5, but I changed it to Already at 7, meaning 7 years old. Self-censorship. Okay, here we go. I think I need to do this. The light is bad here. Okay. Already at 7, my Jungle Boy cartoon book held by feverish young hands. Shirtless boy, child body charging through thickets, lush green marigold and fecund. And I, already at 7, careening through secluded house, feverish and bare-chested, running up and down jungle stairs, grabbing middle-class banisters in the suburbs. Bristling heat energy in a flurry of child-orama pornography, sinful missions, childish desires, and the future is laid out before neophyte flesh. The secrecy of silence, engendering hysterical fruit, and paroxysms of fear, already at 7. That's that one. Thank you. And here's one that I wrote years ago. I'm still trying to figure out what it means. If you have an inkling, you can let me know. But I think it has something to do with liminality, or being in between something, but also a kind of recognition or belonging. And it's entitled, I Am Kissed. Your eyes indicate that crossing is impossible. I take what little courage I have left, stuffing my pockets full. Evil weather reflects off furry limbs. I dance with the lepers who see, eyes aflame. Gazing and again gazing. I befriend a transgendered nun who's stealing bread. There's a quiet language of gender. We're speaking this silence. As I am invited to share in her sacred bounty, her lips were bursting full with the energy of 1,000 moons. Sore eyes open, and I am kissed. So that one goes. Thank you. So this one, if I have time, I'll read another short one. But this one I've been working on during the pandemic, and I just don't have it right yet. It's actually in 4 parts, but I'm not going to inflict 4 parts on you. I'm going to read the first 2 parts. I think those are the ones I've worked up the most, and they make more sense to me. Yeah, so it just has a bit more energy to it, so I'm going to have to find that energy. Oh, and it's the title. You want to know the title. It's called My Queer Pandemic. And the epigraph is, unless I am myself, I am nobody. That's from Wolf. Part 1 is entitled, The Pivot. Your attention, please. As of today, declares this strange, strained male voice on TV, as of 4 a.m. this morning, a state of emergency in the province of Ontario is in effect. There are many ways to frighten people. I recall the moment when the lockdown began. I was teaching a course. Instructors were to revamp their courses for online delivery. March 13th, 2020 was a Friday. I had exactly 3 days to deliver a revamped course to faceless learners. Course repackaged, pivoting theory-burdened manacles toward the remotest learning, immediacy of affect, and a biological panic spawning a risk horizon, reductio ad absurdum, to redesign, to redeliver. A simple pivot, they say. Tiny black boxes multiplying unseen voices. Someone is coughing, and a baby's guttural cries. Someone's microphone is on. Hello, hello, welcome everyone. Are you in this class? I can't see you. Is your camera turned on? I'm not sure what that button does. A dog barking in the distance. Unseen faces, anxious and bewildered in the looping gloom of digital learning. That's part 1. Okay, this is part 2. I'm hoping to have this in 4 parts, but I left out the more delicious ones. Part 2 is called My Breakdown in the Bread Aisle. Yes, this happened to me. This is happening to us, to all essential workers. An outpouring of planned spontaneity. Your compassion is scheduled for 7 p.m. A perverted festival of banging pots. Somewhere, someone's singing an aria. A short-lived cacophony of compassion in the silent stillness of lockdown city. Ducks, Newburyport. The fact is, it doesn't take much effort to frighten people. Oh, this was not the Madres de Plaza de Mayo, the Mothers' Revolt for the missing and disappeared after Argentina's dirty wars. This was our war, a social war. Minuscule seeming private catastrophes. I am telling myself this. The fact is, I felt my throat muscles strained by the produce section of the local grocery store. When I turned that corner, I encountered the sweet, glowing odor of peaches. I trundled past the yellow comfort of the bananas. They were all there. The produce system has been disrupted, despite the news. Not here, not now. But then I saw this, and turning the corner, and this is what I saw, and that's when it happened. Ducks, Newburyport. You see, there's a context to this that's difficult to talk about. Well, essentially, to get on with life with a constricted range of choices. Of course, others are far worse off. We're all in this together. My mother died on the respirator in the ICU in 1984 at the Wellesley Hospital. I was 15 years old. There are those workers lauded at 7 p.m., but struggling without PPE during the day, crowded housing, crowded working conditions, overflowing buses. This is work they cannot refuse. Deaths are mounting in a public hospital in Brooklyn. The morgue has run out of space. Corpses of the COVID dead piling up in refrigerator trucks down the side alley. But I had what I'm calling my breakdown in the bread aisle. In the bread aisle, I could already feel the welling storm of suppressed energies, a cascade of tears and a gasping of breath. Oh, a panic attack. What's happening to me? I reached for my cell phone. Mother's death, gasping for breath on the respirator. And through the welter of tears, I spiral as a storm is casting me about. A friend helped me regain composure. I've been in that ICU, that infernal machine. There was that repetition of impending doom and death. I can hear it now. The final desperate intervention, the respirator. What I saw were empty shelves where the bread should be. Those shelves were empty. Mother's death broke me. Ducks, Newburyport. Memory spirals to my mother and father. The fact is, they were working refugees from an avuncular dictatorship. Studious Salazar, the Catholic father of parsimony and ignorance, would not be found in their Azorian village. There'll be no sight of him holding forth amid the crackling hens and muddy laneways. No presence in the cod fishing villages of Ribeira Grande or Rab du Peixe. These are the villages from which they sprung, newborn roots transplanted elsewhere. From generations of dairy farming, the hothouse pineapple picking from Villafranca, destined for tables of the wealthy. But it wasn't the memories of the sharp, briny odor of soaked bacalhau or the warm comfort of cooked fava beans. It was the bread that sparked that revolt in October 1789, the women's bread revolt and the March on Versailles, sparking the French Revolution. Well, I'm getting way ahead of myself here. Ducks, Newburyport. The fact is, the conquest of bread is from my local grocer. Mine does not have this world historical significance. The disorder in the bread aisle speaks of decades of dying social worlds. HIV/AIDS, COVID-19, monkeypox, steeped in others' moral calculus of decline, awaiting a form of justice. Thank you. Can I do one? Do I still have time, or one more short poem? Okay. So I thought I'd end on a more, lighter note. And this will be, this poem is just called The Weekend Getaway. You pack it all in the trunk. The sleeping bag, the tent, the oil lamp, the fishing rod, the snack food, the first aid kit, the kitchen sink, and the couch. It can all fit in there. It always did. You hurtle down the shiny black asphalt in your newly washed car. You're filled with summer dreams and credit cards. Gray windows whizzing by, occupants encased in metal and plastic, glimpses of their sickly profile through grimy side windows. Something's missing. Sole drivers surrounded by plastic, chrome, aluminum, and tempered glass. Electronic devices speak to the quintessence of the human self. At the next intersection, turn left, then drive 200 kilometers bearing northwest. Your route is optimized. A shiny digital voice bespeaks your current buoyancy. The dog's muzzled, the baby's drooling, the kids are fighting. It's just like your home. The air conditioner is on full blast. 200 kilometers of open highway. No surprises. Autopilot is activated. Power steering operates through an actuator that transforms controlled hydraulic energy to a servo mechanism. No need to shift gears. At the next gas station, you pull in. Fill her up, please. The smell of gasoline is imminent. Window rolled down a crack just enough to slip the bill through. The brochure provides the anticipated vista. Rolling park lawns, campgrounds, and cabins with modern conveniences amidst primeval forests and lakes. You smile. Honey, something's missing. You're almost there. Did you pack the kids' toy guns? And the Game Boy? Slow down now. Mind the speed limit. You wouldn't want this to be all over too soon. Thank you, everyone.